32 Echo Juliet, we're on here, come up the exit point of signature and then hold there. Okay, 38, expect over that 4 airspeed for another 10 to 12 miles or so. I might get you in front of a couple more of Northwest level. Delta 3749, now up there on 2 left, line up and wait. 2 left, line up and wait, Southwest 3749.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Music City Flights Live. Coming to you from Nashville International Airport. Bringing you some arrivals and departures. And some of the great heavy action that we have later this afternoon.
Runway heading 2 left, takeoff, Southwest 3749.
Test, test. All right. So, we've got British Airways Dreamliner headed in this evening. We've got Delta 747-400 bringing the Tennessee Titans back. And should have a rare 737-400 that brought Vanderbilt in. And will be departing later on as well. Excited to see that. Like I said, that's kind of rare for us. Let me know how it sounds in the chat. We're on day 2 of our new audio setup here. Just still trying to work most of the kinks out of it. Let me know whether you can hear ATC, you can hear the background, you can hear me. How's it sound? Let me know. That's really the only way we can make some adjustments.
Southwest 1648, Nashville 136010 on 210. Southwest 64 ready for departure. 64 Nashville, fly runway heading on 2 left, take takeoff. Runway 2 left, clear for takeoff, Southwest 64. Southwest 3417, exit left down point 9.
All right.
3037, Nashville Tower number 2, runway 2 center, clear line.
So a bunch of Southwest departures lining up like they were yesterday on runway 2 left. Looks like most of the arrivals are happening on 2 right at the moment. That's on the east side of the airport.
Southwest 3035, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, fly runway heading, set to take off. 2 left, fly runway heading, over there, call Southwest 3035. Southwest 64, Southwest departure, have a good evening. Departure, Southwest 64, have a good one.
Checking things out over on Jet Tip just to see kind of how far out things are. Expect the Together We Fly livery from Allegiant at 6:07.
Southwest 1648, Southwest 05, kind of ground point on it, good night. 05.9, good night, Southwest 1648. Southwest 3035, Southwest departure, good night.
We also expect the iAeros 737-400 to arrive around 6:30, turn around, depart at 6:40. And it looks like that Delta 747 is in flight, should be here around 6:50 p.m.
Nashville, Colorado, contact position, altitude checkout, 73005, speed over downtown. Southwest 3037, Southwest 05, kind of ground point on it, good night. Right, 05, ground point 9, good night, Southwest 3037. Juliet, contact departure, have a good evening. Departure, you likewise, do what's left.
So it looks like a private jet departing on left. And just had an arrival from Midway, Southwest flight 3037. And another flight taxiing for departure, Delta 5190, headed to RTU, CRJ9. So we'll capture their departure here in a moment. Excited to be back out here again this evening. Beautiful night, weather about 80 degrees or so, plenty of sun. Inching our way towards golden hour. Some big white puffy clouds out here in the distance. Really a nice evening at the observation center here at Nashville International. We'll swing over, capture the JSX. RJ as it taxis into an area held firmly by a flock of Southwest 737s. A number of different aircraft that have just arrived.
Where are you parking tonight?
We're going to Alpha 1, please.
Straight ahead to join Tango 4 northbound, ground point 9, Sun Country 633. Good night.
Tango 4 northbound over to ground point 9, Sun Country 633. Good night.
Endeavor 5190, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, fly runway heading, clear for takeoff.
2 left, clear for takeoff, runway heading, 51.
Wind picking up just a little bit out here, nothing crazy. But if you hear a little wind noise, I apologize. We're trying to mitigate that the best we can. Not always possible. Pretty good number of people out here at the public observation area tonight. Some folks set up with chairs, the back of the truck, enjoying these cool temps and light breezes out here. So here is that Delta 717 departing. I'm sorry, that's CRJ departing. They are headed up to RDU. And hope they have a good flight. Let's see who's next.
Endeavor 5190, contact departure. Have a good night. Departure, sir. Good night, Endeavor 5190.
Taxiing for departure, Southwest 3127, a 737 MAX 8 here, headed down taxiway Bravo for a 2 left departure with the JSX ERJ behind them.
Sorry, second. Fly Nash 1, radar service terminated, contact John 2 Tower, good night. Legion 340, turn right at Sierra 5, got a ground point on it, good night. Sierra 5, you're down for Legion 340, good night.
Fighting with the tripod a little bit this evening.
Southwest 3127, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, fly runway heading, clear for takeoff. We need about 30 more seconds for Southwest 3127. You're ready? Will do. 257 Nashville Tower, runway 2 center, clear to land, wind 36010. Wind line 2 center, jet defense.
So this is Southwest 3127 about to depart here. They are a MAX 8 headed to Pittsburgh. We'll capture their departure here in just a moment as they turn onto the runway and get ready to throttle up.
X-ray 572 Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up away.
Runway 2 left, line up away, X-ray 572.
Delta 1418 Nashville Tower, number 2, runway 2 center, clear land. Delta 2271 Nashville Tower, number 3, runway 2 center, clear land. Southwest 3127, contact departure, good night. Departure, Southwest 3127, good night. X-ray 572, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff, X-ray 572.
Southwest 212 Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up away. 2 left, line up away, Southwest 212.
We will pan over for the JSX, call sign Big Stripe, departure here. JSX, a semi-private carrier, still somewhat new to Nashville, making flights up to New York, down to Florida, over to Dallas, and I heard it's pretty nice. You can see why they get that call sign, that big stripe right down the top. That big stripe right down the top of the airplane. Call sign Big Stripe.
Contact departure, good night.
Contact departure, X-ray 572.
Jazz 857, turn right at Sierra 5, next taxiway, kind of ground point 9 across the mile. Sierra 5, next taxi, 0.9 jet defense. Runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff, Southwest 212. Southwest 565. Switching departure, CS Southwest 212. Fly runway heading for Southwest 2621. Let's do 5 contact ground up 26. Air 615 Nashville Tower, runway 2 center, number 3, clear line, cross the rate 7, west bound, Boeing 737. Southwest 2621, contact departure, good night. Departure, good night, Southwest 564. .271, turn right, Sierra 5, kind of ground point, good night. Sierra 5.9, see you, Delta 271. Whiskey Lane Line, Nashville Tower, runway 2 center, number 2, clear line. Southwest 168, turn right, Sierra 5, kind of ground point, good night. Sierra 5, ground point, Southwest 168. Sierra 582, Nashville Tower, number 3, runway 2 center, clear line. Texas Signet 13 Eastern is valid until 00550 for Tennessee, Kentucky, and surrounding states. Additional information is available on Flight Solutions. Sierra 615, turn right, Sierra 3, kind of ground point under that.
So we see Delta 2271 taxiing there in the foreground. A Delta A319 just came in from Atlanta. And behind that, another Delta jet making its way into the ramp. This one, a 717-200, flight 1418, just arrived from Boston. See it poking out just behind that Airbus there. Frontier Airlines has one of their jets parked over there. See if we can get a zoom in on what kind of animal they have there. Looks like some type of, like a white seal. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you know what that is. This is a WestJet 737-800 taxiing, making their way to left for a departure. This WestJet headed to Toronto, flight 1429.
And Charlie Golf Whiskey Lima Lima, where are you parking tonight? Aviation, Charlie Golf, be north on Sierra, and then Sierra 4 to the ramp. Just monitor ground point 9, Charlie Golf Whiskey Lima Lima. Sierra 4, monitor ground 21 9. Delta 2271 National. Was it 1429? 1429, National Tower, runway 2 left, line up away. Line up away was it 1429.
So a request for that WestJet to line up and wait, signaling he won't be long for departure on runway 2 left here on the west side of Nashville International.
Jet 582, I need minimum time on the runway to either make your next flight in November or expedite the Sierra 3 traffic a mile out. Thanks, time right in November, kind of ground point 9er, Jet 582, thanks for your help. November point 2. Point 9er. Jet 1429, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff. Runway heading with Jet 1429, clear for takeoff after that.
So our Canadian friends are spooling up, and we'll be departing here on runway 2 left.
WestJet 1429, contact departure, good afternoon. Or departure with the 1429, yeah. Southwest 3014, runway 05, kind of ground point 9, guys. 05, good ground, full 6. Take her out Southwest 3014, what is it, take her 6.
Here is the Together We Fly livery from Allegiant. And this Allegiant flight is headed to Flint, Michigan on a 7-year-old Airbus A320.
Southwest 3860 Nashville Tower, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading, clear for takeoff, 2 left, Southwest 3860.
This is Southwest 3860 about to depart a 737-800, 6-year-old aircraft headed to St. Louis.
Delta 1152, turn right at Sierra 5, kind of ground point 9, good night. Sierra 5, that's ground point 9, Delta 1152, you too. Nash 170 just behind you. They lifted off of Vanderbilt. Looks like northwestbound. Southwest 3860, contact departure. Good night.
Have a good day, Southwest 3860.
Contact John Team Tower. Legion 3152, fly. Takeoff. Heading to takeoff 2 left, Legion, they're going 52.
So we'll see Allegiant 4152 departing here, headed to Flint, Michigan in the Together We Fly livery.
Legion 3152, contact departure. Good night. Patrick Daily, 3152. Southwest 9010, ground point 9, good night. 19, Southwest 9010.
Taxiing here in front of us, Delta 1152, that is a 737-900. So let's check over on Jet Tip where some of our more notable aircraft are at the moment. Still about 25 minutes away from iAero Airways 737-400 coming in. Coming in from New Orleans. Also a Delta 767-400 arriving just behind that, also from New Orleans. Both of those, I believe, part of the Titans trip down there. I thought they were bringing the Vandy football team home, but that must have happened yesterday. There was another iAero charter from Greenville, or from was that High Point? I think that airport, Piedmont Triad. Vanderbilt played Wake Forest, so that made sense. They must have come in yesterday. And the British Airways Dreamliner, about 5 minutes out. That is British Airways Flight 223, coming in from London Heathrow. So a couple heavies here in the 6 o'clock hour, as well as that somewhat rare 737-400. Couple private jets popping up on ADSB Exchange, taxiing through the intersection at Tango 5, a 2015 Gulfstream 5, and also popping up is a Galaxy 5000, so hopefully we'll see that depart here in a second. This is a, wow, looks like one of the aircraft belonging to Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay. I know Jim's got a white Gulfstream, didn't know he had a blue one. He's also got a Boeing business jet with the same kind of tail flash with that Indianapolis Colts horseshoe on it. Not 100% sure what brings them to town, but very cool airplane to see nonetheless.
38, turn left at Hotel 4, kind ground point on her.
And so we expect this aircraft to make a left turn here and taxi down taxiway Bravo. Tango to either taxiway Bravo or taxiway, yep, turn in on Bravo. So a 2 left departure for this Gulfstream here in just a second. Construction there continues for some new international gates here at BNA. Hoping to attract more flights from Europe and a flight from Asia. And, you know, me personally, really pulling for it. Would love to see some additional heavies, some additional international flights.
West 3158, Nashville Tower, you up on frequency? Yes, sir, West 3158. 3158, pull into the pad. I'm going to let one aircraft that's right behind you go, and then I'll get you going for your flight on the 18. Roger, we'll pull into the pad, we'll expect one to pass, go with 3158. Thank you, November 931, Foxtrot, Lima, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left.
That's that Gulfstream on the radio there. Tail number ending in Foxtrot, Lima. So we'll see them depart here in just a moment.
The regional jet front is going to pull in and then come in behind you. Copy that from on, Sierra 3018. November 931, Foxtrot, Lima, Nashville. And we'll Foxtrot, Lima is ready to Gulfstream 1, Foxtrot, Lima, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff. Runway heading 2 left, clear for takeoff. Nashville 1, Foxtrot, Lima.
A number of aircraft taxiing over for departure, a American tailed Sky West, Contour, both regional jets, as well as an American Airbus and a Southwest 737, an Alaskan 737, a Sun Country 737, all lining up to march down taxiway Bravo to runway 2 left for departure. So we'll get a flurry of activity here as we await the arrival of the 787 Dreamliner from British Airways. And there they are on the radio.
10 at 10, runway 2 center for line. 223 November Heavy, plan to roll to the end. November 1 Foxtrot, Lima, contact departure tonight. Departure 1 Foxtrot, look at that.
So the British Airways Dreamliner given clearance to land on runway 2 center, so we won't have the best view of it touching down, but it should roll right out to the end of the runway in front of us.
Volunteer 3018, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff. Runway heading, clear for takeoff, 2 left, Volunteer 3018. Skywest 3158, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, on a void. Line up and wait, runway 2 left, Skywest 3158. Line S1, Nashville Tower, radar contact position, altitude check, altimeter 30 005, speed over downtown.
Love that contour tail, the gradient blue. Makes for a great image, whether it's golden hour or not.
Volunteer 3018, contact departure. Good night. Departure Volunteer 3018, YouTube. Skywest 3158, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, runway 2 left, runway heading, Skywest 3158. 1417, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up away. Line up and wait, 2 left, American 1417.
So I'm going to spin over and see if we can catch the Dreamliner on short final here. This is British Airways Flight 223 coming in from London Heathrow on a 787-800 Dreamliner. And it'll dip just behind the trees here in a moment, and we'll pick it up as it rolls out.
Skywest 3158, contact departure, that. Departure CS Skywest 3158. American 1417, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff. Right, runway heading 2 left, clear for takeoff, American 1417. Alaska 411, Nashville. Ahead of Alaska 411. Could you pull into the pad and let Southwest behind you go? I've got a fleet of flow time to Charlotte with him. Okay, we'll give him from Alaska 411. Southwest 2383, Nashville, you're going to be behind company now. Alaska's going to pull off and let you go ahead and meet your flow time. Roger, thank you. Southwest 3874, tower, runway 2 left, line up away. That's way 2 left, Southwest 3874. As soon as Southwest gets out of your way, off your way, you can pull up to an all shorter runway 2 left. Good, thanks. West of 4 left. Seabird 223 November Heavy, continue to the end, turn right at Sierra 7, kind of ground point 9. Have a good night. TTX right here, 719 American 1417, contact departure, good night. That's American 1417.
The familiar snub nose of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, one of the first composite bodied aircraft to enter major passenger service. A remarkable airplane.
2383, 2 left, line up away. American 323, Nashville Tower, runway 2 right, third line.
And this is Southwest 3874 on their way to Orlando.
American 438, Nashville Tower, runway 2 center, third line. Southwest 2383, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff. Atlantic, clear for takeoff, 2 left, Southwest 2383. Alaska 411, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up away. 2 left, line up away, Alaska 411. Southwest 3874, contact departure, good night. Departure, Southwest 3874, good night. Delta 1490, Nashville Tower, runway 2 center, number 2, clear to line. Delta 1490, Papa, 2 center, clear to line.
And we see another Southwest jet depart. This is 2383 headed to Charlotte.
2383, contact departure. Good night. 2383, yeah.
So 2 Southwest jets departing, one right after the other. And
Alaska 411, fly runway heading,
a few more lining up.
Runway heading, clear for takeoff, runway 2 left, Alaska 411. Fly Nash 1, radar service terminated, contact John 2 Tower.
This is Alaska Flight 411 headed to Seattle.
Alaska 411, contact departure. Good night. Departure, Alaska 411.
So as Alaska 411 departs, we'll pan back over to watch our Dreamliner taxi over to the gates.
Agent 438, turn right at Sierra 5, got a ground point on it. Good night. Right, Sierra 5, over ground, Agent 438, take care. 1577, Nashville Tower, runway 2 right, clear to land, wind 010 at 11. 323, ground point on it.
About 5 minutes away from the arrival of the iAero Airways 737-400.
238, Nashville Tower, runway 2 center, clear to land, reduce the start, stop to proceed. Southwest 2519, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff 2 left, Southwest 2519.
Next departure, Southwest 2519, a 737-800 headed to Los Angeles. Departing here, runway 2 left here on the west side of Nashville International. And we'll see them right now. Some great golden hour color here as the sun gets ready to set.
Southwest 2519, contact departure, good night.
Departure, Southwest 2519, good night.
1490, ground point on it, good night. Ground point on it, 1490. November 5016, Lima, Nashville, Approach. Roger, maintain your current altitude until advised. Proceed direct downtown, Nashville, altimeter 3005. 238, turn right at the end. Make it at the end at Sierra 7, kind of ground point, non-air. Good night. Right at the end, Sierra 7, point enter, American 2338, good night. And United 1577, kind of ground point, non-air, good night. To explain that, did you want to stay at 3,000 over downtown? You want to get a little bit lower? Okay, that'll work. Thanks. Where are you headed out to after downtown or once you're finished? Flight 451, Nashville Tower, runway 2 center, clear to land, wind 010 at 9. American Flight 244, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up and wait. 2 left, line up and wait, American 2244. Hello, 3405, Nashville Tower, runway 2 right, clear to land, wind 010 at 10. American 2244, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, third for takeoff. Runway heading, 2 left, clear for takeoff, American 2244. Southwest 8515, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up away. Line up wait, 2 left, Southwest 8515.
Our next departure here, American 2244 headed to Dallas on an A321.
American 2244, contact departure, good night. Departure, American 2244.
So American 2244 departing out.
Southwest 8515, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff. Runway heading, clear for takeoff, 2 left, Southwest 8515. Southwest 1680, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up away. Runway 2 left, Southwest 1680.
So it looks like that iAero 737-400 just touched down onto center, so should see them taxi by and head over right in front of us to Terminal 1, the cargo terminal here.
Runway 2 center, clear to land, wind 010 at 10. Nashville Tower, good evening, runway 2 right, clear to land, wind 010 at 10. South 15, contact departure. Good night. That's all 85. Southwest 1680, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, cleared for takeoff. Runway heading 2
Now, these iAero 737s come here fairly often during hockey season. They run a lot of hockey charters for the Predators out of here.
And I'm not sure how they want you to come into the ramp. Just look for the ramp controllers there. And you just monitor, just stay on monitor.
Should be about 10 minutes out or so from a 767-400 arriving.
3677 Nashville Tower. Runway 2 left, line up away. There's going to be crossings downfield. It'll be about a minute in position. Line up away on 2 left, and we'll keep an eye on the traffic down 3677. Southwest 3405, turn left when able, kind of ground point 9. Good night. Southwest 1680, contact departure. Good night. Have a good night. Nashville Tower, position out, speed check, radar contact, altimeter 3005, speed over downtown.
So yeah, about 10 minutes away from that 767 arrival. Unsure what runway they're going to give him. Right now, coming in from the southeast, might be set up for 2 right, which is all the way over on the east side of the airport. Might get it's a big enough airplane, we might be able to see everything but its actual touchdown on the runway, and should certainly see it taxi over in front of us.
Southwest 3711, Nashville Tower, runway 2, center, clear the line traffic, just up and down. Number 16, lane, the contact approach 119.35, let them know you'll be inbound to John Pin eventually. Good night. 3677, fly runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, 2 left, runway heading, John 3677. 1830, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up away. 2 left, line up away, United 1830.
So I heard the call sign for Giant. Somewhere in here. Yep. So Giant 3677 in the Prime Air livery right here, headed to Fort Worth Alliance Airport.
Giant 3677, contact departure. Good night. Departure, Giant 3677, you have going. United 1830, fly runway.
So Giant is the call sign for Atlas Air Worldwide. Had a conversation in the chat yesterday about the Atlas 747s that we used to get and how we haven't gotten one in, I guess it's been about a month and a half or so. Folks in the chat and myself all lamenting that we don't get to see the Queen of the Skies like we used to.
Blue Street 5044, turn southbound on
So this is United 1830 headed to IAD on an Airbus A319.
Runway heading, clear for takeoff, 2 left, United 1839. Southwest 347, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up away. Runway 2 left, Southwest 347.
Our next departure, another United. This one, flight 1839, a 737 MAX 8 headed to Denver. Had the pleasure of shooting in Denver a few months ago. Well, let's see, when was that? I guess that was late July. And really enjoyed touring around that airport and taking some great photos of a lot of jets that we don't get here. A lot of United Heavies, as it's a big hub for them. A few of the plane spotters here at the observation area taking off to go catch that Delta 767-400. Looks like they're going to land on runway 2 center. And there are some better places to get pictures of 2 center arrivals than right here at the observation area. This is Southwest. Flight 347, 737-800 headed to Midway. That looks like a Cessna 310. They had a medevac call sign. Hope everybody's okay. Speaking of propellers, check out yesterday's live stream when a Silver Airways ATR 72-500 departed, and their propeller RPM was synchronized right in line with the camera frame rate, and it looks like the propellers were just frozen still as the aircraft departed. Pretty cool effect to see. A number of departures lining up for runway 2 left. JetBlue flight 1074 headed to JFK in an Embraer E190. Delta Flight 2316 headed to Detroit, and Spirit on an A320 headed to Orlando, Flight 3171. So should have a flurry of activity departing here in just a moment. Congratulations to Novak Djokovic for winning the U.S. Open this evening. His 24th Grand Slam title, which is really impressive whether you like tennis or not. And here's a Delta A319, Flight 2316, headed to Detroit. Some activity from the public safety folks over at the Public Safety Center here at Nashville International. Big stream of water from one of their airport rescue and firefighting vehicles. This JetBlue E190 headed to JFK. The Delta 767-400 has arrived. It landed on runway 2 center. We all believe this is the aircraft bringing the Titans home from New Orleans. And they made a turn I did not expect them to make. I wonder where they're going. Yeah, he went the wrong way. So most aircraft that come over to South Cargo, as he was alluding, would make a left off runway 2 center and taxi around the departure end and over to, well, right about where that fuel truck is. Looks like he made a right turn. Not sure if that was intentional or just accidental, but Maybe a minute or so before we see them come in. In the meantime, here's Spirit 3171 headed to Orlando. This looks like a runway 31 departure. This is going to be a United 737 in the Star Alliance livery. So that'll be really cool to see. We should have a full view of their rotation as they go from right to left across the image you're seeing now, and depart off on runway 31. And that makes sense. That's United Flight 308 headed to San Francisco on a 737-800. So they're going to be really loaded down with fuel, probably a lot of people, and need that long runway, which for us is runway 31. So a couple other plane spotters here talking about capturing that Delta 747, and heard on the radio he made a wrong turn. No big deal, but any kind of anomaly in aircraft arrivals or departures get the attention of the plane spotters out here. But it happens. No big deal. Might just take them a few more minutes. As we wait for the departure of United Flight 308 headed to SFO, they are on this 737-800 here, way out there. So golden hour in full effect here at Nashville International. The sun just now getting behind the buildings and setting up for a really nice sunset. So if you're here in the Nashville area, take a look outside, look to the western sky, and check out that beautiful sunset happening with a pink sky. So there's the call. Line up and wait on runway 31 for United 308. And their departure will take them from southeast to northwest on runway 31 as they depart out for the West Coast. And I think, you know, issues like this are one of the reasons Nashville wants to build some longer runways. Is, you know, this is the only runway over 10,000 feet. And some of these larger, heavier aircraft need all that runway for performance. So here is United 308 on the roll for a runway 31 departure in their Star Alliance livery. And there they go into that pink sky I was talking about just a second ago. So it looks like the Titans have arrived. We'll see just the nose of that 767 pull out there. And then a player should exit off that aircraft and walk to their vehicles parked over here on their way out. Titans suffering a heartbreaking loss to the New Orleans Saints today. A 1-point game, losing 16-15. This is Southwest Flight 307, headed to Fort Lauderdale. And Southwest Flight 1648, a 737 MAX 8, you can see taxiing here, headed to Tampa, about to turn left on taxiway Bravo, and head over here for a runway 2 left departure. So takeoff clearance given to that Southwest Flight 1648, headed to Tampa on a 737 MAX 8. I should see them roll out for their departure here in just a moment.
Let me know before you start back, if you said. Will do. Thank you. One up, okay. There we go. Whiskey Lima Lima, runway 2 left, fly runway heading for your full takeoff. There we go. Whiskey Lima Lima, contact departure, yeah. What departure today, Whiskey Lima Lima?
All right, so The Delta 76 is here. It's unloaded the Titans. They are pulling out of that parking lot, offloading equipment, etc. Jet Tip says that 767-400 is going to depart in about 20 minutes. We'll give it about 20, 25 minutes or so, see if that's the case, and then we'll get out of here. That was Delta Flight 1295 headed to Boston, a 737-700. Number of departures lining up. Air Canada Express headed to Toronto on an E-175. An Allegiant Flight 327 headed to St. Petersburg, and then behind that, Southwest Flight 3014 headed to San Jose on a 737 MAX 8. So we'll see all those departures here in just a moment. As we transition to twilight here at Nashville. So here is that Air Canada headed to Toronto. Here is Allegiant 327 headed to St. Petersburg. Looks like we lost our radio. Fix that here in just a second.
Mary 51, take a Mike, Nashville, Tower, runway 2, left, fly, runway heading for your full takeoff, cross runway, turbulence, departed 730.
All right, we got the radio back. That's good.
Takeoff for 851, take a Mike. Echo 3014, contact Park Fit. Okay, hold 3014. Station 2 off Bravo, stay parking. Station 2 off Bravo, right, 03.
This looks like a Beechcraft Premier.
Station 2 off Bravo, problem, turn right, Sierra 5, south on Sierra, remaining 60. Engine 1949, Nashville, Tower, runway 2, left, fly, runway heading for your full takeoff. Runway heading to 02 left for Legion 1949, clear for takeoff. Premier 1, Tango Mike, contact Park Fit. 1 Tango Mike, sit. Station 2 Alpha Bravo, be south on Sierra, then Sierra 4, and straight into Atlantic, I'm gonna.
Ooh.
Good, I'll see you soon.
So it looks like our next departure is going to be Allegiant Flight 1949 headed to Bentonville, Arkansas on a 10-year-old Airbus A320. You can listen, tell me how it sounds.
1949,
So Allegiant 1949 departing on their way to Bentonville. A lot of the lights coming on here in Nashville. Taxiway lights are on. Landing lights are on. Rotating beacon is on above us. So we don't have much longer. Waiting to see if this Delta 747 does spool up and get out of town. We'll see here in just a second whether or not we hear them turn on. We'll give it about 5 or 10 more minutes and then we'll get out of here. Next departure, Southwest headed to Dallas.
Contact Park 6. Over to the Texas, Cypress 165. Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, fly runway heading, please, full takeoff. Runway heading, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff, 2271. 2206 Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, we'll line out there later. Halfway 2 left, JetBlue 206. Buffalo 311, turn left, Hotel 5, contact ground 49, good day. Nashville Tower, runway 2 right, wind 350, Niner, please land, you're paired up company traffic on the center. Hello, 3479, Nashville Tower, runway 2 center, wind 350, Niner, please land, you're paired up company to the right.
Our next departure here, Delta Flight 2271, an A319 headed to Atlanta. which is where all Delta jets go at the end of a long day, right? Back home to Atlanta. Next departure coming up is JetBlue, flight 206, headed to Boston on an Embraer E190.
That's 2708 Nashville Hotel, runway 2 center, wind 350 at 11, clear flight. Altimeter 3004 Nashville Hotel, taxiway turbulence, departing Embraer, runway 2 left, fly, runway heading clear, full takeoff. 2 left, lift takeoff, volunteer 3004. Blue 206, contact Park, zip. What's departure, Blue 206, zip.
Our next departure, Contour Airlines, in one of their Embraer regional jets, departing here on runway 2 left.
3479, turn right again, cut the ground point right. Right hand the ending ground point and shows 3479. Let's do 05, turn left, 4, cut the ground point out, good day. 4, ground point out, 205. 9010 Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, and line up in light. By the way, 2 left, Southwest 9010. Proceed direct Nashville and maintain 3000. We calling out of Atlantic ready to taxi, contact ground 121.9. 3004, contact Park Zip. Departure volunteer 3004. Southwest 9010, runway 2 left, fly runway heading, please, full takeoff. Runway heading, clear for takeoff 2 left, Southwest 9010.
Our next departure, Southwest Flight 9010, a MAX 8. Departing on runway 2 left. Not sure where they're going. It's not up on Flight Radar 24. May have that for you soon.
Nashville Tower, runway 2 right, wind 360 at 11, clear flight. 2708, turn right, 05, contact ground 4 navigate. Airplane over to the ground, Southwest 2708 PM. Southwest 9010, contact support ship. Yeah, Southwest 9010.
Well, it doesn't look like that Southwest or that Delta 767 is headed out anytime soon. None of its lights are on. They may be grabbing a cup of coffee or a bite to eat before they head out on their flight to JFK. The info we're getting on flight radar doesn't really indicate an accurate departure time. So all that being said, we're going to pack it up today. This has been a great live stream. Been going live now for just over 2 hours. Light making it a little bit difficult to focus. There isn't a ton of light out on the field after dark. Most of the lights are around the terminals that we see in the shot here. So we'll go ahead and pack it in. Thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate all the folks that came on today. And if there's anything we can do to make this stream any better, please don't hesitate to let us know. And we will talk to you guys next time. Thanks a bunch for joining. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a great week ahead. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, sign up for alerts on this channel so you know when we go live. And like I said, we'll see you on the next one.
That's 20, Nashville Tower, runway 2 left, line up and